Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a very straight to the point person, so let's just get straight into it. Hi pal number one, welcome to your reading. I'm hearing for you, in a world that can feel so harsh at times, why allow yourself to feel the continuation of discomfort? So bear with me guys. So what I mean by that is, there are things and situations that we cannot control, but what we can control is how we deal with it and kind of really creating our own toolbox of things that we can pull out when we need them to help us deal with the harshness of the situation, if you will. For pile number one, I hear you are carrying a very heavy heart, a heart that you feel cannot be repaired. And you've gotten this through past experiences. I'm hearing for some of you, you experienced rejection at a very early age from your parents or a friendship group or a partner. They were very judgmental, harsh, strict, very bossy. There was this kind of like image that you felt that you had to live up to, like whoever this person was had very high standards for you, and they let it be known, like if you didn't live up to these standards that you would be excluded. So the trouble that you guys are having now is you guys don't know who you are outside achieving things for others or being what you're expected to be. By going through and living through this one particular pattern, it's really kind of like spilled into your personal life, your personal adventures, and this is what you guys are really being asked to focus on and to really like look at. Even those of you who have pulled away from kind of like doing what's expected of you, like let's say you were in a more corporal job and now you're an artist, like even if you are an artist, you're feeling as though you're creating pieces of things that are like expected of you, and some of you are meant to be more what's the word I'm looking for, some of you could be abstract artists, but because you feel like people won't understand your work or get your work or might not think it makes sense, you're forcing yourself to learn like fine art or something like that. And then a lot of you who are just, in jobs that you don't want to be in or jobs that you are in, you guys are just really suffering a lot from imposter syndrome. Constantly comparing yourself to others. And even when you're praising other people, you're praising them as though you are lacking. As though, oh, they're so amazing, they're so good, they've figured out their niche and I'm just not there. And that's not your true voice. That is the voice of your past experiences. That is the voice of that relationship, that friendship group, your parents. That is that voice that you were so used to back then when you were being controlled, if you will. I'm hearing that you guys have been struggling with this for a while, especially with your confidence. Your confidence has been stripped away from you. You've been trying to get it back, but have been struggling. I'm also hearing for this pile that for those of you that have been trying, like you'll read some self-help books, but you'll still feel as though that they haven't helped. And the reason why that they haven't helped, or you feel as though they haven't helped, is because what you guys really need to do is to actually go back to the past. You need to revisit the past to see the cause. You need to address what got you here in the first place. A lot of you in this pile are afraid to address the past. Some of you fear hating your parents or those people. Some of you just simply don't want to revisit the past. Some of you just don't want to forgive these people. Because if you forgive them, you feel as though that they got away with it. Definitely hearing for some of you as well, you feel that you deserve an apology. I am a lover of quotes, so I am going to share a couple that have helped me in the past with this similar situation to this. So one, life becomes easier when you learn to accept an apology you never got. And number two, healing does not mean the damage never existed. It means the damage no longer controls your life. I don't remember where these quotes are from, but I do know these were unknown. So if anyone knows, feel free to, to share who they are. But these quotes really did help me with a similar situation to this. You guys definitely need to unpack the past very slowly. This power can be very self-critical, so it's important that you do this in really small doses. You also need to discipline yourself in order to heal, because some of you guys really do struggle with either procrastination because you really don't want to address it, or you try and put it off as long as you can because, dealing with that pain can really hurt. A lot of you definitely are the type, once you leave something in the past, you leave something in the past. Once you cut someone off, you fully cut that person off. So it's really hard for you guys to fully go back with this. But Spirit is really saying it is important for you guys, and to stop feeling like time has been wasted, because it hasn't been wasted at all. I'm also hearing for you guys, for those of you who love to buy loads of self-help books, it's time to put a pause on those. And just really help yourself. A self-help book can only take you so far. I know I've read self-help books that have been more on the motivating side, but the thing is, they can't help you if you don't know where these patterns are coming from, Again, it can only really take you so far. You guys, again, also need to focus on really building that toolbox. I know my toolbox when I'm having a really bad mental health day is I need to work out, whether I'm walking for half an hour or actually lifting weights or cardio. I know I need to journal. I know I need to speak with Spirit and have a chat with myself. I need to have a high fiber breakfast and really focus on just eating right that day. I'm very sensitive to food and artificial sweeteners, so I know that day to really steer clear from that. Sometimes I can get away with having a protein shake, because I know those do have artificial sweeteners. But yes, but if I know that day I'm really feeling at my lowest, I'm really struggling with different things, and I pull things out of that toolbox and stuff like affirmations, and and my toolbox can look completely different to your toolbox that you need to pull out when you need to deal with certain things. You guys have never really been taught how to kind of deal with your emotions in a very healthy way. It's always been either keep it in and move on, and don't look back, or it's you kind of address it once but don't really get into the root details, and then kind of throw it behind you. So you guys are really just needing to focus on kind of being your own parent. I always say to clients that if a child, hurts himself, you're not going to shout and scream at the child, you're going to put a band-aid, whatever it is, you're going to give them, their favourite meal, you're going to tuck them into bed, you're going to put their favourite movie on, you're just going to help them take it easy. And so that's how you guys really need to start treating yourselves, that you are a child, you guys had to really grow up at such a young age because of the cards that you were dealt with in life, and that's okay. But again, you guys don't need to suffer any longer. You don't need to suffer in silence when something traumatic happens, or or even just something small, something bad happens. It's one thing that somebody else doesn't want to acknowledge that, but as in, like, you might never get that apology from your parents, but you can give yourself that nurturing that you want. You can give yourself the healing that you need. You know, everything that you need is within you. That is your reading pile number 1. Thank you so much for listening. And if you would like a reading, you can send me a email, or you can just DM me on my Instagram. I only have one Instagram, and it will be in the subscription. In the subscription, it will be down below. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. I'll be channeling straight from spirit. So, pile number 2, I'm hearing that you guys are struggling with the confidence of knowing you deserve a seat at the table at your chosen career. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say you are an artist, you feel like you're suffering from imposter syndrome. You feel like you're truly not as good as others, and there's a little bit, again, this like comparison game of, like, you're an abstract artist but you're comparing yourself to find out it's like 2 different leagues, it's 2 different lanes. It's beautiful in its own way. You guys have this inner voice that can be negative on a regular basis, and you guys have allowed this voice to be louder than the positive voice due to others who have belittled you in the past. Again, we'll stick with the artist kind of like storyline. So you could have had a teacher who was a little bit harsher than you, like more so than anyone in the class, and your friends weren't as supportive of your artwork or showed very much interest. So you just naturally feel that, like, if you're going to create, no one's going to care. It's not good enough. It could be better. You know, that really, like, deep, negative, like, self-talk. The thing is, you guys know who you are. You know you're gifted, and you've worked so hard to get to the level that you are at, nurturing your gift. You know, a lot of you are really talented. A lot of you are self-taught. A lot of you didn't have the same opportunities as other people did, so you kind of had to go the extra mile to teach yourself things, or stuff like that. So I guess as well, that's where the imposter syndrome must, like, come from. You know, you guys didn't have the same qualifications as others, or the same, like, work experience. So again, that adds on to that belittling yourself. But the thing is, pile number 2, you guys are truly gifted. You guys feel you're a student when you've really become the master. And of course, we never truly stop learning. There's always something that we can learn, or something that we can add to our belt. So I do understand that, and I get that. But the thing is, you guys have really and truly mastered, or are near to mastering, but you're holding yourself back a little bit. You know, you're being your own worst enemy. There's no one that needs to be in the room to belittle you, because you already doing, like, a good job at it. You know what I mean? You guys are really holding yourself back from potential opportunities, from just a lot. You know, especially by selling yourself so short. Pile number 2, you have the talent and resources to monetize and truly live off your talent as a career, but you just don't have the confidence to execute what needs to be done in order to share it with the world. And that's what you guys really need to be working on. You know, get some self-help books, you know, look for a mentor, start putting yourself out there, you know, like, and also just really, the reason why I say some self-help books, you know, that can really help reprogram your mind, and that's what you guys are really, like, needing to do. And it's kind of, like, crazy, because what I'm seeing is, like, you guys know at your core that you're talented and you're good, but you're just not talented enough to, like, make money from it. Like, you guys definitely need to get some, you know, self-help books, or look into stuff that will help you reprogramming your mind with, like, money, you know. A lot of you feel like you don't even deserve a high paying job, or you don't, like, not a high paying job, but you don't deserve, like, again, to sell your art for hundreds and hundreds. You think like, oh, who's gonna buy it? And that's something, again, you guys really need to focus and work on. Your spirit team are very persistent with you guys. They're like, you did not work hard and you did not put all this time and effort into nurturing this gift just to stop and pause. And what's interesting with you guys is you guys always try something else, but you always go back to this thing. So again, back to the art thing. You know, you might try and play an instrument or do this and do that, but you always find yourself gravitating backwards to this thing. And that is for a reason, guys, seriously. You know, your lack of confidence stems from feeling like you don't have the resources as well to make money off of whatever this venture is. Like pile one, some of you are comparing yourself too much, and you just really need to understand that everyone started from zero. No one wakes up with 100k followers or 100 opportunities. You need to go out there and create these opportunities. You need to be consistent until you reach that 100k. Or if you're not wanting a huge audience, you need to be consistent until you earn that 100k. That's just in case, you know, for some of you, you're just wanting financial freedom. Some of you are wanting to be well known. Some of you are just wanting your art to be well known, your medicine to be well known. But medicine is, maybe some of you guys create things, you know, anything. I like to think a lot of things can be medicine. So like, for me, I truly believe in colour therapy. If I walk into a room, I feel instantly, a room that's like colourful and just bright, I instantly feel really good and happy and stuff like that. So a lot of you are like creators. You guys are meant to be creating something for others or offering some type of like service. And your medicine matters to the world. You guys have the superpower, I'm hearing, of turning nothing into something. You need to tap into that side. Kind of like however you guys nurtured this talent, a lot of it was you, again, like teaching yourself. It's a self-taught thing. You made nothing out of something. So again, you just really need to lean into that side rather than sending yourself on an endless, mindless loop thinking that everything you need is outside of you. You guys really need to tap into that intuition of yours instead of that voice. You guys have really, really good, strong intuition, but you're not allowing yourself to truly listen to you. The gift and the talent that you have, you chose to pursue by nurturing it. It was planted into your heart for a reason, guys. It really and truly was. You guys need to learn to take things into small steps so you don't feel overwhelmed or worried. Because again, you guys are just thinking about the end goal, the outcome. And just by taking small little steps and planning, those small steps will help you in feeling confident about the future and really monetizing your craft. I'm a quote girl. I love some quotes, so I'm going to share a couple that have helped me in a situation like this. It's a slow process, but quitting won't speed it up. Everything you want is on the other side of fear, and that is by Jack Canfield. And then the other quote, I don't know who said that. So if anyone knows, please feel free to share. But yeah, you guys really just need to really focus in on your lane, like quite literally staying in your lane. The only person you should be competing with is yesterday. And also with this like monetizing your work and stuff like that, why not you, guys? Like if that person could sell their art and this person could sell their whatever they're trying to sell, why not you? We are all special. No one is more special than the other. We are all born with a purpose, a gift. We are all born for a reason. There is no reason why you can't, or why someone else deserves it more than you do, especially when you're putting in the exact same amount of effort in, and especially when this is your passion, when you know in your heart that this is something that you're meant to do. That is all for your reading, pile number 2. Thank you for listening. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So, pile number 3, you guys need to start making choices and stop using distractions as a reason to avoid making the choices that need to be made. So, you guys have experienced enough to the point where you can truly decide to start living the life that you want. So whether that means cutting people out, leaving an unfulfilling relationship, job, living situation, like you guys have had, again, that enough experience that you can just say, I don't want to live with this person anymore, or live in this area anymore, because I feel it doesn't have enough opportunities for my chosen career. I feel like it's not close enough to a town where I can go and do hot yoga, or it's not close enough to a beach, like, you know what I mean, and a friendship group. You know, you guys are at that point where you know what you want in a friendship, what you don't want, but you aren't, again, you just guys aren't making the decisions. You're just settling and kind of like pretending that you're happy. You're telling yourself that you're happy, and like, oh, I'm happy because I'm 23 and, you know, you should get an apartment by now, or I've achieved things that other 23-year-olds haven't done, so like I should be happy, so I will tell myself that I am happy. And it's like, no, guys, you guys have experienced life. You know, you've gone through that teen stage, you've gone through that path where you can make as many mistakes as you like. I mean, we're always going to make mistakes, but like, you've gone through that stage where you can make as many mistakes and really learn from them. And the lessons that you take are what you now use to make the decisions for the future. It's time to be a bit more intentional rather than be so impulsive. You guys are just so focused on what's going to kind of make you temporarily happy right now than thinking like long term. So you guys may not want to move because it might be so expensive, but you guys really don't want to save for it because it's a long time away, and you want to spend money on things that will make you very happy, like quickly, like a holiday next weekend or a holiday in a month. You'd rather have this instant gratification rather than creating a plan that's going to have long-term happiness. You guys have like built a routine that keeps you in your comfort zone. But, you know, what you guys need to understand, you know, it reminds me of this quote that I love so much, that your comfort zone, you know, like life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Again, to you guys, like, it may look like you're living your life because, oh, I'm going on holidays and I've got a house and I'm in a relationship and I've got loads of friends. You know, it may look like that, but you're looking at it through a smoky lens. You're looking at it through like the rose tinted sunglasses. You're not looking at it for what it is, you know, especially in your relationships, you know, your romantic relationships. You guys are kind of holding yourself back. I mean, I'm hearing as well, some of your partners will be understanding, but you're just holding yourself back because, you know, you're thinking like, oh, like, I won't do what I really want to do or say what I want to say, because relationship is about compromise, so I'm going to compromise. And it's like, no, 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 like, yes, it is about compromise, but it's not about settling. And that's what I'm hearing for you guys, that you guys are just really, really settling. Strongly feeling and hearing for this pile that you guys have gone back and forth on an idea of wanting to do something new, of wanting to kind of like venture out into whatever these ideas are. It involves like a lot of like communicating. So whether you are wanting to travel and meet new people or have new friends and have these new experiences, or it's as simple as creating a blog or a podcast or anything in that realm, um you guys are just kind of like wanting to like go for it, but you guys have grown up in an environment where you weren't necessarily encouraged to go for those things. You were more encouraged to do things, again, that will keep you, what's the word I'm looking for, you grew up in an environment that's very routine based, kind of like, like, let's say your parents are from a specific state, a country, wherever, and they met at that high school and worked at their local whatever, and then they had you, and then your sister lives down the road, and then your brother lives less than 20 minutes away. Like, your friends have like done the same. Like, there's there isn't a sense of adventure around you, kind of like people really and truly like going for it and being very unapologetic about it. Everybody is almost kind of like staying in this comfort box and encouraging each other to stay in this comfort box. And some of your parents or the people that you're around don't even realize they're in this comfort box. It's just the norm. It is just the norm for them, and they just don't know any better. You guys need to stop worrying, about the challenges that you may face with these ideas that you're wanting to bring to fruition. And when you're, worried about these challenges and these obstacles that you've never faced before or have dealt with before, that's when you can tap into your inner child more. That's when you can lean in. That's where you can lean more so into. Allow yourself to be playful and excited, about this venture. And you guys do have a good sense of self. Like, you guys can handle a situation head on. Quote gal. So I'm going to share a couple quotes that have helped me in a similar situation. So the first one, may you always see the world through the eyes of a child. A child is always excited. Well, not always, but you know what I mean? Like, the majority, like, everything is like, trying something new is so exciting to them. Or, when they fall in love with something, they're so excited and they really want to do that thing wholeheartedly, until their heart's like content. They're not looking necessarily at all the troubles and the negatives and over analyzing and micromanaging. They're just allowing passion to take over. So what you guys are needing to do is just really allow passion to come through and a lust for life to really seep through and just make these decisions. Just time to really build your happiness, and not a version of what you think happiness is. Because you don't want to wake up one day, like 10 years later, 20 years later, thinking, like, what the F did I do? Like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I go there? Why didn't I invest in that? Why didn't I... Like, I'm hearing this pile. In the moment, you're not thinking why, or I regret this or regret this, But you guys are definitely going to wake up one day, if you're continuing on this path of just kind of like swimming, if you will, kind of doing what everyone's doing or what you feel, again, like what happiness is. You guys really are just needing to tap into your creativity, your creative spark. Pile 3, you guys are going through what I like to call a creative awakening. And this actually reminds me of a quote. Creativity is nothing but the mind set free. So you guys are not allowing yourself to be creative, you know. You just, again, are doing what you feel is expected of you. You're not doing your version of creativity. You're not doing that thing that allows you to be free. You're not. And I would like to touch with this. Like, some of you are happy at your corporate job, but you'd be happier if you were doing something creative on the side. You know, something that can really connect you to your inner child. You know, the decisions that you've made really aren't connecting you to your inner child, like, at all. So again, maybe your inner child loves being near the beach, the ocean, loves being, I don't know, in a loud city because it reminds you of home. That's where you'd love to live. You know, you're not making decisions based off your inner child. You know, you need to unlock your creativity to feel close. I'm hearing for you guys specifically to feel a little bit closer to your inner child and connected. Sorry. But yeah, that's really what I'm hearing for you guys. Thank you, pile number 3, for listening to the reading.